Knicks, Hawks. And man, I mean, I was watching Sixers Wizards for most of last night and just following Knicks Hawks on Twitter. But based on the reaction from the first half, it sounded like the Knicks were just completely drawing dead. Then they turn it around in the second half. Julius Randle wakes up. We get some big shot making. The Hawks, kudos to them for keeping it close, but the Knicks ended up pulling that game out with a big second half surge, tie the series up at 1 game apiece. What do you think the keys are for the Knicks to keep that momentum going into game 3?
More efficient offense. Like, honestly, I know that's a really simplistic answer, but your best player is shooting 28% from the floor. RJ Barrett is shooting under 38. Emmanuel quickly is shooting 37. Those are probably three of your best offensive players on the team. So I think it would kind of behoove them to get that offense going. As a team, they're shooting 41.5% for crying out loud. They need to have the offensive efficiency. Defensively, I understand that because of the presence of Tips, they play on a string, they rotate the right ways, but individually, I don't think there are a whole lot of great defenders on the Knicks outside of Nerlens Noel. So their calling card cannot be exclusively defense, especially matched up against a Hawks team that is this potent offensively and have so many weapons. They need to be able to respond offense with offense, fight fire with fire just a little bit of the way. So for them, get easy shots. I want to see them take it into the paint. I want to see them draw contact. I want to see them get Clint Capella in foul trouble, forcing Onyeka Okongwu, who's a rookie, or John Collins, who, by the way, we need to talk about what the hell happened in game 2 on that front. Just
foul trouble.
Yeah, right. But also, like, even foul trouble, just an offer, an egg, really?
Yeah, I mean, he played only 15 minutes.
Still, though, that's over a quarter.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I know.
But my point here is you need to be able to put the ball in the basket. At the end of the day, the team with the most points wins, and then you can have all your standards about great defense and whatever, and that's nice. You need that. But right now, the offensive execution from the Knicks have been pretty dismal. Like, 2 bench players are leading the team in scoring here in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, it was nice to see Tibbs stop screwing around with Elfrid Payton in the second half, at least. He started Derrick Rose. So we were skeptical over whether he would ever make that adjustment, even though Payton played 5 minutes in that game 2, and he was a -7, which at a certain point, like, it would, you just gotta, I know you got, Derrick, like, coming off the bench, and that he's used to it. NBA players are creatures of habit, but Elfrid Payton's giving you nothing. He's got to, he should not be playing in this series. He should just be excised from the rotation. Rose should start. Rely on Burks and Quickly as your main guards off the bench. It's as easy as that.
38 minutes per game for Derrick Rose in the first 2 games.
Derrick's been very good. Derrick's been very, very good. Taj Gibson also. I mean, the joke when the Knicks acquired these guys was like, oh, great, it's Tibbs guys again for the 4th straight team or whatever. But, like, both of those guys have made the Knicks wouldn't be in the position that they're in without those 2 guys.
Yeah. And that's what I said going into the playoffs as well. I think that is one of the things that Tibbs kind of relies upon. Like, those 2 are extended arms of Tibbs out there to a certain extent. They know how to execute his play style. They know what they want. Like, it just makes sense to play them extended minutes. But at the end of the day, Bryan, we just cannot get out of the fact that Julius Randle needs to be better offensively. He just does.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was really, really struggling that first half. Did start to get things going a little bit in the second half, which is good to see. Collins being in foul trouble certainly helped in that regard. You can't necessarily bank on that moving forward. One wild card to keep an eye on, it sounds like Mitchell Robinson is at least getting close to a return. So
does that help the Knicks or does that help the Hawks?
Hey, it's another body with 6 fouls, if nothing else.
That's true, but I'm thinking if he's going to absorb some of the minutes from Nerlens Noel,
or Taj.
Like, I probably would go with those 2.
Well, Nerlens came in questionable with a sprained ankle last night. Only played 17 minutes, so we'll see what his status is moving forward. I don't think he's going to be able to gut out 30 plus minutes on that.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
So maybe Robinson can just fill in there. I don't think Robinson's coming in going to play 25, 30 minutes right out the gate. Like he's you can turn to him in foul trouble if Noel or Gibson get into early foul trouble, or just play him for 10 minutes. Yeah. But it's just something to keep an eye on as the series goes on. This is also shaping up so far. I mean, it's shaping up to be probably at least a 6-gamer, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Well, I mean, I gotta give the Hawks credit though. They came into New York and did what they needed to do, and they won a game. I mean, a split is not bad. Obviously, if you're Hawks fans, you really wanted to see them squeeze out game 2, much like Dallas did in LA. Mm-hmm. But like, you take this every single day of the week.
Yeah. No, I mean, I still think the Hawks are the better team here, and I would feel pretty good about their chances moving forward. Like, from a Sixers perspective, I'm hoping like hell that the Knicks win this series, because I'm much more scared of the Hawks than I am of the Knicks in the next round. But
you are so scared all the time. Is that Fox News getting to you?
I watched 2 of the Sixers' 5 starters sprain their ankle last night. I live in constant fear.
By the way, I got a question here, because I am not really up to speed when it comes to which teams are allowing back fans. That's been a subplot I just haven't followed very closely. Mm-hmm. The Hawks, are they allowing fans back in now?
I mean, they're in the South, so I'm assuming they think the pandemic's over.
Yeah, but like full on. I mean, are we talking about? I know they allowed like a minor crowd early in the year, but are we fully fledged like playoff go full house?
I don't know. I'm not paying attention to which team. I mean, from what I've seen, most teams are around 50% capacity, so I don't know how many are allowed at each stadium, but I would assume at least like 10,000.
Yeah, and the reason I'm asking, because that place is going to be jumping.
Oh yeah. No, this has been a really fun series in terms of like building a new rivalry between, with Trae, especially in the first couple games. And speaking of bad fan behavior, the Knicks chanting Trae is balding last night. Like, again, let's do better here, folks. Come on, just make fun of him flopping. That's one thing. Let's not make fun of his receding hairline.
Also, just one final note here. Why is it that Trae is the villain exactly?
Well, he's the best player on the team, and again, did the like finger shushing with the game winner in game 1. So
can you be a villain when the team you're playing against is owned by James Dolan?
Yeah, I know. It's been interesting to see how that one game has people like ready to anoint him as, is he ready to embrace the villain role that LeBron and KD shied away from? And maybe he is, and that'd be cool, because it's, it is fun to root against players who like, it's like the WWE. Like, when someone openly embraces being a heel and feeds into that energy, it's really fun to root against that. But,
and for them, for crying out loud.
Yeah, right. Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how that develops over the rest of this series, too. Yeah. Like, if he hits another game winner and, has some extra theatrics for Knicks fans, I could certainly see that not going over super well.
Gallo needs to drop the mohawk, right?
I saw a story. Apparently, he promised someone on the staff that if they made the playoffs, he was going to do it.
Yeah, well, shooting 24%.
Yeah, he looks terrible.